Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James and I'm your Sunday night reviewer. And this evening I'll be finishing up our Severin Films week, which is also including the Intervision line. And I'll take a look at the Turkish film Baskin by Severin. He actually made this. It was a short, and this was, I believe, his first feature-length film. Very nice release that we have here. Sorry about the glare from Severin, but I had to make some notes on this one, which I've done. So I'll kind of like buzz through them fairly quickly. So the film opens on a dream sequence where we have a young boy. He wakes up to these noises. Someone's having sex. So he wakes up, he gets up, and then he goes into the living room and the TV's on and there's all this static on the television. He turns back to his bedroom and he sees this red light or something like that. And it freaks him out, so he's like banging on the door to get in. So it's obviously his parents having sex. And then this hand figure, this hand comes out, and then it finishes the dream sequence. And then when we are then in some shitty diner somewhere with our five protagonists, and we have 5 police officers, not the nicest guys, and like you can tell this by the stories that they're telling about how they're losing virginities and stuff like that. Yeah, they're just not particularly well. Most of them aren't particularly nice. There's one, he actually fights, has a proper. He's bigger than the waiter. The waiter's like a young kid, and he actually like full on fights him. He's punching him. There's a bit of a dick about it. Well, they're not particularly nice. Even the ones which aren't that horrible don't really do anything to help. So they're all a bunch of dicks, really. But yeah, this is a strange diner, and when we first see it, there's this hooded figure, possibly the figure from the dream sequence. He's got this kind of bucket of blood and awful cuts and meat and stuff, and that gets taken to this diner and the cook starts cooking it and stuff, but strange. Anyway, one of the police officers is actually like hung over and he runs out to be sick. He goes to, there's like an outdoor toilet where and he's getting washed up, and he looks up and this same hooded figure is in the mirror. And then we flash back to them, and they hear this screaming, so they run out to get to him, try and bang on the door. It's all locked, and he comes out, and he's okay. He doesn't really mention it. It's quite strange. And then they get a call to go to this old abandoned police station in Senac. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but anyway, it's this old abandoned police station that they go to. So they get in the police van and they're kind of going off, all weird stuff, more these strange conversations, there's a bit of karaoke and stuff like that, and they see this naked guy and they stop to find him. There's all these things with frogs. You keep seeing frogs throughout different parts of the film. I think that's something in Turkish folklore. I'm not sure what that is. I probably should have a bit of a research on that to find out what that kind of means within the film. But anyway, that they like get back in the van, they're driving off, and they see this kind of person covered in blood, and they hit them, so run them over, and then this causes them to crash, and so it like crashes quite badly. It rolls into like this water, and then boom, we are back in kind of like another dream sequence. But we're back in the diner, and it's with like 2 of our characters, and it's Arda is our main character, and he's talking with like different guys and stuff like that. And I think it's Remzi or something, his name. It's kind of like a father figure, kind of for Arda. And what are they talking about? Oh yeah, he's telling him. Arda's telling him of this dream that's like a recurring dream that he's had. This where he's with his friend, and they have this pact that when one of them dies, they'll visit the other one or something like that. And anyway, he wakes up within the dream, and his friend's there, and he's really scared because he knows that his friend's died. And then he wakes up in the morning and it's found out that the friend has died. And this is part of this like recurring dream that he has, which is a bit of a strange one. And then he sees this figure in there, and I think it's Ramsey or something like that. It's like, you can see this figure too. No one else can only see this figure. And this figure that keeps popping up through the film, and I'm not quite sure what this character symbolizes, whether it's death or something like that. I don't know, and like death's getting closer all the time. I'm not actually sure. I probably should read into this film a little bit, because I was a bit confused. There's plenty going on, but like you don't find out too much about the characters. You find out little snippets, but not so much. But they're interesting. But anyway, like, he sees that this is in this dream sequence still, and he sees this figure, and he falls back, and there's all this black liquid pouring everywhere, and he falls into it. But then he kind of gets pulled out of it, and he's in the real world, and he's like being pulled out of the water. And they're all okay, just about. They've all got a few cuts and scrapes and stuff, and they're walking through all these gypsies, and you see more frogs, and the gypsies aren't really friendly towards them. But they're actually, where they crashed is where they need to be, so they're walking across this field thing, and they see this like police car, which is the one that put the call out for them. So there's no one there, so they go inside, and they see this officer. He's like bashing his head against the walls, a bloody mess. So 4 of the officers go looking, and so the one is like staying behind, and he hears this noise from this room. He goes in there, there's all these weird wrapped up dead bodies like hanging in chains and stuff like that, and all these blindfolded, weird blooded figures, and there's people having sex and stuff like that, and they're basically like, he just gets freaked out, and they rush him and drag him off. And then the others, they're going deeper and deeper into all this kind of, I think this is like the gateway to hell or something like that. It's very Hellraiser, with all these chains and bodies hanging everywhere and stuff. And one of them gets hit by a sledgehammer, and the others are running off. And one by one, they get in like tackled, and then Arda's our last one, and he runs into his dream. But gets pulled out of it by these like robed figures. When they all wake up, they're wrapped. They're tied with chains to these big stone pillars, and there's all these weird people. I think they're like Satanists or something along those lines. And we meet our Baba, which is this very, very strange looking guy. He actually does look like this. He's like very unusual. It's like he's been left in water for like way too long. So his unusual wrinkles and stuff like that, and he's quite short as well. He's very calm. He's very kind of really steals the show when you're watching him. It's really, really good. And then he's really sinister in how he talks to the people. He's quite short, so he gets a stool, so he comes up to their level. And no, there's spoilers in here, so I'm just gonna jump into kind of how he is. Kind of like just before all this happens, it's like Arda is kind of having another kind of flashback, and it's always going back to this diner. Not yet. No. What Baba does, so this kind of high death priest or whatever, so he guts one, he rips open his shirt, and he's already got intestines hanging out. He's been crudely stitched up, so he just rips some more out. The next he has his eyes. He's kind of telling him about how close his eyes, and that how he sees things. He should see things more clearly, or something like that. And he's trying to tell him to open his eyes up. The other one doesn't want to. Eventually does, and immediately his eyes gouged out with these knives. Gruesome as hell. All this stuff. And then the third one, he has his throat slit, and this is when Arda goes back. It's Ramsey or something like that, and Arda goes back to the dream sequence with him, and they're at the diner, but he's there with his throat slit, and he has this key. And that's something with Baba. He has these tattoos of keys on his head and on his back, and padlocks. Not keys, padlocks. Sorry, all over him. And he takes the key out of this guy's throat, and then he's back into this world, this hell, and he plunges the key into his Baba's head, and then he gets his stool and he like beats him to death with it. And then he escapes. He manages to get out, like goes past all these road people and climbs his way out, back through the field and everything. Gets back to the road and gets hit by the police car with everyone inside it. So it's like this horrific loop of hell, and everything's connected. It's almost like he's been on this path since childhood. Because like when he's been a small child dreaming of these dreams, it's like his path was already decided for him, that he's on this hellish loop. And I don't know if the frogs have some kind of symbolic meaning, because it's very obvious that this is like the gates of hell, and he manages what he thinks to. He does his escape, but he clearly doesn't. He just has a slightly different death to what the others do. It's like, I don't know if this is his hell or all 5 of them. I'm not quite sure. But that's where we are with the film. So that's Baskin. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend it. There's not too many Turkish films that I've actually watched, and I first saw this a couple of years ago, and I should be trying to check out, see what else that we have from Turkish cinema. But I highly recommend this. Severin did a really good job with the release. Not really many special features on this, but they do have the original short, so that's worth checking out. But I hope you enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you. Bye bye.